Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to What She Said. Oh, Friday Eve, Friday Eve, Friday Eve. All right, so the weather got cold here again in Atlanta. So we had to go back to the hoodies and the knit caps, That's what it is. All right, so they said it's officially today is the first day of spring. Well, it got back down to the 40s here. So, and it's windy again, which means the weather is changing. Generally, when the weather goes from warm to cold, it gets windy in between. So, I don't know what to expect tomorrow. All right, so it's Wednesday. Give everybody a chance to join us, play some music, and we're going to play a game. Guess what? All right. All right. I think that's a good way to let everybody just ease into the podcast. We're going to talk about the Big 12 Pro Day. It officially wraps up tomorrow, but most, not all of our guys between yesterday and today worked out. Tomorrow is specialty. So I think the kicker, Mark Bassett, might be in Frisco working out tomorrow. All right, let's put some music on. And chill out for a second. How's everybody doing? All right. All right. So normally I have an intro. I'm just going to go ahead and start just a little bit, then we'll stop, take a pause, and we'll play the game. All right. Now, there was this interesting story. While we wait on people, I can tell this story. There's an interesting story that was in the news today, and it was about how a boxer named Adrian Bronner, I don't know if y'all are familiar with boxing or not, but apparently he scammed some NBA players, allegedly, out of $6 million. And you'll never guess how. $6 million, let's be clear, is a lot of money. And apparently they were playing dice, like the game of dice. The two little white things with the numbers on them that you get like in the game of Monopoly or something like that. If you don't know what dice is, or if you go to the casino, you play a game with dice. That's what they were playing. And I read the article and I said to myself, okay, it says Adrian Bronner. That's his name. And I know I've heard the name before, like with boxing matches and things like that, just in passing. I'm not a boxing fan, but I know I've heard the name. So he must be pretty popular. Said allegedly scammed NBA players out of $6 million with rigged dice in LA. Now, when I first read this, I said to myself, isn't playing dice illegal? And not playing dice is illegal, but isn't gambling with dice already illegal in itself? And the fact that they were loaded dice, $6 million? Like, how many NBA players was involved in this? It makes you think like a couple of teams came to town and he basically beat everybody. $6 million in rigged dice. So people are asking, how on earth is the FBI even know about something like this? I'm like, you know what? I don't know. I don't know. But what did we talk about yesterday? How the FBI assists the NFL with their deep background checks into people. How when the NFL comes to you and they present a question to you, they already know the answer. So I don't know how they found out about this rigged dice game, but I think the least of the troubles are, the rigged dice. I think the gambling to the tune of $6 million, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So, if you've heard anything about it, you let me know how it goes. I'm pretty sure it's illegal. But when I read the story, I just kind of shook my head twice, like, so he's not in trouble for illegally gambling. He's in trouble because the dice were loaded. And I have no idea how the FBI even found out about something like this. But apparently, they don't take too kindly to it. So I think he was scamming, and that might be why he got caught. Hey, Gracie, how you doing? Yes, I replied to you. I actually read it right on the spot. I had my email open. Thank you, Gracie. I replied to you. I had my email open and I took the time to read it right then and there. So we're going to touch on it. Thank you so much for sending that over. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, Chris. That does say Chris, right? Yep. Welcome, Chris. How you doing? Okay. So we're going to start off with a game. And I want to tie it in to the story I just told. However, it was already illegal to be gambling. So I don't know. Okay, I'm just gonna give you a clue. All right, take a look at these letters. This is a popular saying in response to, like, if something happens and somebody, kind of expects an explanation, or let's say if they do something to you and then they need something from you, you might say this. It was also the title of a uber popular song by a very earthy, shea butter goddess that people would say from the neo soul genre. So I'm gonna go ahead and type in the letters so y'all can get it, and then we're gonna go ahead and get into we're gonna go ahead and get into our stories today. Gracie shared an article that I had a chance to look into, and I found it very interesting. I guess at some point we have to start doing a mock draft. I know I would like to. All right, so I typed the letters into the chat. Hopefully, y'all can make them out. Again, popular song, but at the same time, the song spurred on. This is something you would say when something happens, like when somebody does something to you, but then they need something from you. All right, so I put that in the chat. All right, so let's get into it. Today was pro day, and tomorrow's the last day. So the first day, we had the guys, like the defensive linemen, the offensive linemen, and the linebackers, right? I watched Levanta Bentley. He balled out. He looked sharp, and he was ever confident. Like it was never a doubt in his mind that he would do well. He was swift. He did really good. Today were the wide receivers and the defensive backs. I did see Cameron Silver-Craig, but I didn't see him work out. Same for Shiloh. So essentially, the squad got back together again before they get together at Pro Day. And Levanta Bentley actually was asked, was he going to run the 40-yard dash? And Frisco, he said, no, I'm waiting on, I'm going to do that at CU, Colorado. So not everybody ran the 40 there. I saw Jimmy Horn Jr. do the 3-cone drill. He did really good. Also looked swift. Jimmy and Levanta, in my opinion, like these two, they are definitely have speed. And it's like it's just not all over the place. It's swift. So they both did well. I think Jimmy did less than a 7, like a 6.8 with his time. Levanta Bentley's drills, all his drills were good. I still didn't see Justin Mayers. I was looking for him. I didn't see him. I do have some results to share, like from Shedeur. There were some players that we hadn't seen in a minute. So let's talk about who was supposed to be there, who was actually there, who we saw work out, and what their results were. All right, so this is what was listed for who was expected to be at CU Pro Day, okay? Let's see. First we had, let me turn this down just in case. Hold on one second. All right, so that way I'm not talking too loudly. Okay, so first was expected to be at Pro Day. Was that? I'll have to go up for U of H, Colorado. Okay. All right, hold on one second. All right. So for Colorado, um, BJ Green expected to be there. This is the list of guys from Colorado who were expected to be there. BJ Green, Justin Mayers, Chidozie Nwanku, Jimmy Horn Jr., Travis J, Shiloh Sanders, Shedeur Sanders, Will Shepard, Cameron Silman Craig, Herman Smith III, LaJohntay Wester, and Mark Bassett. Now, I don't know why Travis wasn't on the list. Does this have anything to do with classification? Like you had to be a senior? Let me know if anybody knows. Travis J was on here, but he's a defensive back. And I watched Cardell Thomas work out. I think they said he only played one game with us. But again, even if he played the one game, you went to Pro Day. So I don't know why Travis Hunter wasn't there. I'm just wondering if this is like a classification. Maybe you had to be a senior. I don't know. But that's who was supposed to be there. The last day tomorrow, I expect the specialty group is working out. I think this is where Mark Bassett would actually work out. So I'll be trying to see if he's working out tomorrow. So that's that group. And then let's see. So without Travis being there, I did look on the internet and people in the comments, I saw one comment under like the Well Off Media video that said, you know, the family's all back together. And then one person said Travis is doing his own thing. So again, I don't know if he wasn't there because he's not a senior, and that's kind of what they were expecting. But I did look at his footage with his footwork that was going viral, and he has good footwork. And good news for him, a team that we kind of figured that was interested in him is showing strong interest in him, and that is the New England Patriots. So Gracie, thank you for sending that article over. You know, we were talking about, was he going to go to the Jaguars? And I said possibly because why? I think they had the most interest in allowing him to play both ways. So after reading the article, I did some brief research to kind of understand what it is that the New England Patriots kind of see for Travis in terms of his career. Now, the article was basically going on to say that, you know, basically he broke the mold. You know, if you were thinking he wasn't that guy, he is that guy. He's still, you know, touted as being a unicorn, can play on both sides of the ball, etc. Right? Nothing, not surprising. That's kind of what we expected, you know, about Travis. The article goes on to say that he broke the mold in terms of letting people know that the Heisman is not just for quarterbacks. It's typically a quarterback award, but and if you see, Ashton Jeanty was nominated too. So while generally quarterbacks win, non-quarterback positions do win the award. So Travis is somewhere. We know he's working out. He actually said that, you know, all he's doing is working out and eating and sleeping. So trying to bulk up a little bit, put on some weight, and at the same time, you know, just try to get his drills in. And of course, filming it and putting it out there, you know, he's gaining interest. Now, while Travis would like to still play both ways, what I learned about New England's interest in Travis is that he would play primarily one way and then have packages in the other way. So they kind of put it in a college student understanding. So they said, well, he would major in one way, like cornerback, but then he would minor in wide receiver. See, here's the big debate when it comes to Travis, if he's not playing both ways. And definitely, you know, he wouldn't play nearly the snaps he played at Colorado. Which way does he start? Should the primary be the cornerback or should it be wide receiver? I'm of the opinion he's a better and more impactful wide receiver. Just look at the touchdowns, the number of touchdowns he scored. So I think that's the debate that's starting to happen. Like, okay, he's not playing both ways. If y'all draft him, you know, that's cool that he plays one way. But what way should it be? Drop in the comments what primary role you think position Travis should play. You think he should play primarily cornerback, or do you think he should primarily play wide receiver? For me, it's wide receiver. For those people who say that, you know, if he plays on both sides of the ball, that obviously if he gets injured, there's liability there. They lose two players instead of one. So I get it. I totally get it. But the question is, they said, what's his name? Devonta Smith was too small. They did. and he's good. But that's wide receiver. Again, that's the role I say he should play. I don't know why they would want him to start at corner when, in my opinion, that role probably could be, you got to tackle people more physical. Whereas a wide receiver, if you can catch me, then it becomes physical. But that's if you can catch me. And see, that's the thing with Travis. He can put himself in any position to catch the ball. So that's why I said wide receiver, really, he's a lock. That's what he should be drafted as. If you're worried about the liability of him being injured, then why would you start him at corner? You're going to send him out there to tackle these people that you think are too big for him to go up against. So, that's where we are with Travis. Yeah, we know who he is. We're not shocked that he has excellent footwork. That's not going to change anybody's mind in terms of what it is that he wants. They just have to get it right in terms of he's going to major in one position and minor in the other. I think he majors in wide receiver and he minors in corner. And then this feeds into a conversation that came out yesterday when we finished the podcast and we were talking about our quarterback competition, the friendly quarterback competition at Colorado. And one of our members, James Anderson, I think, said in the comments after the video, he said when it came to the NFL that we're going to start to see a wave of two quarterback systems. One quarterback when you're in the red zone and one quarterback when you're like third and two. One quarterback when you're 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 6 trying to get 4th and 6 trying to get to the first down, etc. And I said, oh, I wonder if that's what Colorado is going to do with Juju and with Caden. Because, early in the season, it was discussed. I think Life in Football, Kyler Moore brought it up. He said, could Colorado have two quarterbacks? And at the time, I don't think many of us could fathom it because we think of one person playing the entire game. But just like you have wide receivers that play certain plays to exact certain, certain measures, same thing. And I was like, I wonder if that's what Colorado might do if we go through this spring game, hopefully with Syracuse, which is competitive and we can truly see how it works. So let's say we go through the spring game with Syracuse. It's ultra competitive. We have, in that game, we probably will have all three quarterbacks taking snaps. Ryan Staub, because we're not trying to win this thing. Remember, we just trying to, we're not focused on winning. We're focused on seeing who's who, evaluating talent in a competitive environment. So while the score is good, we want to see Ryan Staub throw some snaps and see how he does. We want to see Juju. We want to see Caden, and we want the best person to be QB1. I know I do against Georgia Tech. I don't care who it is. If it turned out to be Ryan Staub, I'm going to go with that because we need to beat Georgia Tech. So let me know, because I know I asked y'all a question already. What the first question was, which position do you think Travis should play primarily in the NFL? Because it does not appear that he will be playing both ways. He will primarily play one way and then secondarily play another way with like part-time. So let me know. Let's check that because that's one question. And then we're going to have another question. All right. So let's see what everybody says. It said, hey there. Hey, Kiel, how you doing? How you doing? No, just those players that are trying to get drafted, junior or senior. Oh, okay, so it's open to either one that want to be that are draft eligible. Okay, so I don't know why he wasn't there. I couldn't tell you. It was nice to see everybody together. And like I said, Cardell Thomas, I didn't even know he was going to be there. Again, I did not see Justin Mayers. I was happy to see Chidozie yesterday. Lavonta Bentley looked really good. I didn't see LaJohntay run today. I saw Cameron Simmer-Craig and Shiloh with their green DB shirts on. I didn't see either one work out. Maybe it'll be out there later. I don't even know if they worked out. Shedeur was there, but obviously he wasn't working out. He was interviewed by like the person called Bucky Brooks that always does like the NFL mock drafts. So, he was kind of explaining to Shedeur that, some of the headlines that he sees people shouldn't take too seriously because, we want people to click on it. So essentially he was trying to say it was clickbait. But he also said, but you're a person too. I'm like, thank you. Because while it's clickbait for you, this is directed towards another person. So the guy, Brooks, was actually saying maybe people shouldn't take it that seriously. So anyway, Shedeur was like, I don't really look at the stuff. But yeah, we do. We don't like it. We don't like it. So stop. Find something else to do clickbait about, or find somebody else to do clickbait about. Why does it have to be Shedeur? So I call Hearts Pucky on that. Let's see. Tina Davis. Tina. Hey, Tina. Welcome back. Said Travis is at Coach Prime's lake fishing. Oh, good. Good evening. Oh, that's in Dallas, right? That's right outside Dallas. Okay, thank you for sharing that. Good evening, chat, and beautiful. Hope all is well. I'm finally catching the live. Thank you for making it back, Coach Dre. We appreciate you both, but I think he will play DB first. Yes, that's what it seems like. The question is, okay, why do y'all think? I mean, I think wide receiver is a better option. He's more impactful. He's less, you got to catch him first. He is pretty fast. And again, he's like Devonta Smith. And look how successful Devonta Smith was. And they were like, he's too small, this, that, and the other. Went to the Super Bowl. Everyone is coming back to see you this weekend. Oh, that's nice. Okay. What's going on at CU this weekend, Coach Dre, that everybody's going back? Is it because they're getting ready in about a week or two for Pro Day? It said, okay, Will and Bentley worked out today. I did see Will Shepherd run the 40. I don't think I saw anything else. Levonta Bentley, I watched him. He was good. He was really good. So, okay. Does anybody know how Justin Mayers did? I didn't see him with the offensive lineman, and I watched them yesterday, but they had two groups going at the same time. But the camera only focused on one, so I may have missed it. I didn't know about Travis J. I knew Bucky was filming this one guy that I did not recognize. He had to do his 40 twice. I thought something happened the first time. I thought he was maybe the Herman Smith guy because of what the writing on the shirt was like the second. So I'm thinking that might have been who it was. So, okay. Well, so while the NFL kind of continues to debate if Travis should actually be a cornerback first or wide receiver first, we already made our call. I say wide receiver. Some people in the chat say cornerback. And we just probably gonna have to leave it at that. Herman. Oh, okay, that's who that was. Okay, Herman Smith, that's who that was. Okay, thank you for that. All right, so my second question. All right, so that's where we are on Travis. The NFL got to figure it out. Cam Newton said something that I actually believe is true. While these pro days are good, and there's somebody that's gonna get some extra looks, and then Colorado has their pro day on the 4th. The NFL actually kind of know who they kind of want at this point. I actually believe that after the combine. I kind of believed it before then. It either made up your mind one way or the other, or you found somebody that you didn't consider. But when it comes to the top 10, the teams in the top 10 know who they drafted. So it seems like Travis might end up a New England Patriot. That's what it's given. That's pretty much what it's given. And that's fine. And New England has good legacy, So what do y'all think about Travis going to New England as opposed to another team? If you like the idea, thumbs up about Travis going there. I think it's a good place for him to go. They have the 4th pick. And they're probably gonna pick him as a corner. But I think he might be listed as both, which is kind of good. And he gets the opportunity, if they draft him as a corner or a wide receiver, he gets the opportunity. Hopefully, they allow him to, maybe in practice for a little bit, play both ways, and he just figure it out. But then that's a personnel issue too, because, if he's playing both ways, do you need one less wide receiver or one less cornerback? I don't know. That's an interesting question. Because if you get hurt, you're going to need that person, though. So, all right. So this is what came back for some of the results. Before we get on to the QB, the 2 QB system, whether it's the NFL or... All right. So I think it's Sports Illustrated actually put out some results on our guys. I feel like they're from yesterday, but I could be wrong. They talked about the combine, but then they did give us some stats on just the Colorado guys. So defensive lineman BJ Green the second. His 40-yard dash was 4.7. His vertical was 30 inches, broad jump 10 feet 2 inches, and he did the 3-cone drill as a defensive lineman 7.33 in the shuttle 4.65. So when it comes to linemen, they have a different expectation for the 40. Like wide receivers are if they can get 4.2 or 4.3. But generally, they want you to be somewhere around 4.4, 4.5, somewhere in there at the max. So it's a little different for linemen. But BJ Green looked like he did good. The vertical at 30, I think that might be pretty good too. Offensive lineman Cordell Thomas. Now this was a lineman. I don't know if he was no 54, 56, or 52, and we didn't see him that much. I thought they said he played one game for CU. He ran a 5.2 for a lineman. He ran a 5.2. Vertical was 22. Bench 23 reps. That's pretty good because they were benching like 200 pounds. I don't know how many he benched, but one guy did like 11. So I think I saw 45 and 45 on one side and duplicated on the other side. But then I thought I heard somebody say 225. So it just kind of depends. And then the 3-cone drill, 8 seconds. The shuttle, 5 seconds. So that's Cordell. And then Chidozie. I thought Chidozie did good. He ran a 5.6. Chidozie is listed as a lineman. So he ran a 5.6. His vertical was 23 inches. His broad jump, 8.1. Now he benched 26 reps. I can't imagine that's at 225 pounds. But then he did 3-cone drill, 8.4 seconds in the shuttle at 4.91. Then Shane Coates, who y'all were talking about, somebody came in the chat. I think her name was Charmaine. She was like, don't forget about Shane Coates. So he didn't do all of the exercises listed. He did the vertical jump at 31 and the broad jump at 9 feet 4 inches. And then there was Levanta Bentley, who showed out. His vertical was 29.5. He didn't do his 40. He said he gonna wait to do it at Pro Day. He did the broad jump at 9.2. He benched 25 reps. And then the 3-cone drill, 7.26 seconds. Okay, and he is listed as a linebacker. Okay, and then the shuttle is 4.4 seconds. So he did the shuttle at 4.4 seconds. That's pretty good. So that was from yesterday, I believe. So they'll probably have some more numbers tomorrow. Like I said, in my opinion, Levanta Bentley stood out. He didn't do the 40. All the guys did well, but he stood out. It was like you could see it. Sometimes when you look at people going like completing the task, it's just something you can see in them. And whatever it is, he has it. So don't be surprised. When you hear his name called, if he's drafted in the first 7 or if he's undrafted free agency, I'm pretty sure he'll get an opportunity. When Chidozie was doing his 3-cone drill yesterday, we talked about this, I think. I noted that I said that the guy wrote down some notes because some people type them into their iPad or whatever, or their tablet. And, he made some notes. Chidozie actually did good too. So, I think our guys did good. I don't know how many gonna get drafted. Again, I did not see Justin Mayers or I didn't get to see him work out, and I hate I missed it. I tried to catch everybody. It is 225 pounds. Wow. So imagine the guys doing 25 and 24 and 23 reps with 225 pounds. That's impressive. That's impressive. It says, let's see, a late great Tom Landry figured that out in the 1970s for the Dallas Cowboys. What's that, Kiel? Oh, okay. It said 2 QBs. No continuity, no familiarity, and a different cadence. So you don't think the 2 QB system will work? That's what you're saying, Kiel? And you said the late great Tom Landry figured that out in the Cowboys. Okay. All right. Well, I guess not. I don't know. I kind of like the idea. Maybe we'll see it for the spring game. I don't know. Coach Prime said he's looking for leadership. So, if you keep, dividing everybody up, you might not really get a chance to see what you want to see. But there's some if they do it, because I don't know if it's going to happen. Coach Fran Brown posted on his Twitter. He said, "Hope." What did he say? Like, let it happen or make it happen. He said, "Oh, let us be the experiment. We're just gonna blow it out the water like that." I think if they get to do it, I think it changes things for a lot of other schools who want to do away with the spring game. Do you know why some schools want to do away with the spring game? It's probably not even what you think. You would think it's because maybe it's boring, maybe because it is monotonous. No, some schools actually believe that it would prevent players from hopping in the portal. So here's the thing. We talked about on this podcast probably about a week ago that the portal opens after the spring game. So I think some of the schools are trying to retain their talent, because if they put it on display at the spring game and people see it, they might get recruited. I'm like, that could happen anyway. So that's kind of why some of the schools are actually trying to do away with it. But that's not going to prevent anybody from leaving at a university. Now, it was said that after the spring game, how I told you I thought we had 5 QBs on the roster. Some people actually think that after the spring game that Ryan Staub might get an offer from another school and that he might be gone. Now, I don't know how true that is. I kind of thought that would have already happened, but I thought he was all heart for staying and for working out with against the other 2 guys competing. And I thought the best effort that I saw from him was when Shedeur was there, and he stayed to throw with Shedeur, and so did Caden. They took advantage of that opportunity, and they looked pretty good. So, other universities and scouts, they watch the same media that we watch too. So I don't believe scrapping the spring game will prevent anybody from offering somebody on your team, if they're good, offer somebody on your team, a scholarship. So I just think it's good exposure for the players, and it's a good test, because you don't even have the first game. The first game out the gate is not the game you want to be out the gate. For us, it's not. Like when we played North Dakota State that one time, okay, but and they're good too. But for us, the first game, Georgia Tech, that's why this Syracuse thing, we really need that. I really feel like we need it. Let me know what you think. Do you feel like if we didn't compete for the spring game, that we would be just fine when we get to the first home game, which is Georgia Tech? Let me know your thoughts. I think we need it. Maybe I need it. Maybe I need to see. Because I'm going to be on pins and needles if I don't know what these guys look like. That's why I'll be like, okay, so we're going to have to just sit here and all find out together who they are. Let's see. So thank you for that, Kiel. It says, oh, so he did work out. Okay, good. I just missed it then. Okay, so Coach Dre said Justin Maris did work out. Thank you, 400 Circle Media. I appreciate it. It said, my 2 favorite teams are the Georgia Bulldogs and anybody's that's beaten Tech. Oh, Georgia Tech. That's hilarious. You say, you're not a Colorado fan? I thought you were a Colorado fan too. I guess you mean that's going to be us, because I do expect us to beat Georgia Tech. So that's what I think. So let's see. What is this I'm looking at? Oh, this was a story I was looking at about Travis. So did I ask y'all already to put in the comments, just drop the team that you honestly think would be the best fit for Travis, regardless of the draft position. Like if you let's say you like the New Orleans Saints, but they're number 9. Instead of just saying, well, he's not going to be there at number 9, so I can't pick the Saints. I'm curious, is there another team out there other than the rank and file when it comes to 1 to 5 that y'all think would be a good fit for Travis? I still go with Jacksonville. Some people say the Giants. I have heard that. But I think they might need a quarterback too badly. So, and they still got this whole thing going on with Aaron Rodgers and Russ, so I don't know. But I did hear the Giants, and I wasn't against the Giants for Travis. And let me tell you why. Well, for one, it's different. It's not the quarterback position. And, some of these teams, they hold this quarterback position almost, like royalty. And it kind of is, because it's the leader of the team. There's a hierarchy. Even in college, like when Ohio State divvied up their NIL, they paid the quarterback $2 million. They paid the lineman $1 million, and their receivers got different money. So there is a hierarchy. There is a hierarchy. So does this say one voice works out? Oh, you talking about for football? So I do like the Giants for Travis because it is a major market. I think he already has Adidas, and he'll get to a point where maybe he'll be like on a Microsoft ad if they could work it in and figure it out. I do think he could be eventually a team that the players want to come see, win or lose. That's what I think. He is that talented, and I'm assuming that I don't know who the New York fan base is, but they seem like the Carolina Panthers fan base a little bit. Like, I'm gonna come to this game regardless because we're diehards. So I'm kind of thinking that New York will be good for Travis, as well as the Jaguars. I'm not saying New England is not. It's just that the Jaguars did not have an issue with him playing on both sides of the ball. So I would like him to have that opportunity, if another team really wants him to have it. And I would rather him play wide receiver first, and primarily. That I would want him to major in wide receiver and minor in cornerback. That's what I think. So all right. So that's the actual. That's it. All right. So I think that's pretty much it for what I had on my agenda. From the guys at Pro Day, I watched a little bit, with the guys back at school today, but not much. I just saw a race between Omarion and somebody else. Other than that, I think, just wrapping up Pro Day was for the most of it. I just wanted to see. Now, if you like basketball, my favorite team lost, Alabama State. But for Pro Day, once the guys wrapped up, that was pretty much it. Then, of course, I had to turn my attention to basketball. I was trying to watch Alabama play Auburn, but they lost. And I think I caught up to halftime, and that was about it. So other than going on with basketball, I don't think that there's much else that we're going to get out of this other than what's going on daily. And April 4th is the Pro Day for Colorado. Now, I expect everybody to be at Pro Day. And when I say everybody, Travis, Shedeur, Shiloh, what's his name? Cameron Silver-Craig, the guys that were just in Frisco, Justin Mayers, Chidozie, Shane Cokes, Lavonta Bentley, BJ Green, people I didn't even really know outside of Cordell Thomas, didn't know him really. Travis J, I didn't really know him. I remember hearing his name once or twice, but I don't think I can put a face with it. Herman Smith, I didn't really know him. And of course the wide receiver core, LeJounte, Jimmy, and Will Shepherd. So I did see Will run the 40. I don't know what his time was. If anybody knew it, whatever, feel free to share it. But, it was never a doubt that the wide receiver core was elite. So I kind of didn't think that they really needed to do that. But Will Shepherd did not go to the combine. So I understand him running the 40 today. It said they need to what? They need to, tune up. They need a tune-up game. Right. I mean, that's what I mean by you need a tune-up game. And what, I don't care if it ain't competitive. I would rather it be competitive because I would like to see a true game. I want to see, what do we want to see? The run game. We want to see how that's coming along. I mean, the spring game is April 19th and today is March 20th. We just heard, well, I know I did, Marshall Faulk say he noticed the hesitancy coming from the running backs. And I was like, yes, because I remember thinking, we just didn't have that power burst. I mean, Micah, I thought was it. So we want to see if the run game has improved, if there is no hesitation, if whatever was causing that has been done away with. And I didn't just feel free to just try to burst through. I don't know. I don't know who would start. So we kind of want to see the progress. Lord knows I want to see the O-line. Everybody want to see the O-line, right? We all gonna be sitting there on the edge of our seats the first time whatever quarterback is in the pocket, snaps the ball, and step back, I know I will be looking at if the O-line looks like a U that's holding up. You know, when you actually have an O-line, it's a big difference than when you don't. It looks different. It's almost like art, you know, like creating a U almost. You know, with the quarterback in the middle or running this, that, and the other. So I'm looking to see if we succeeded where that was, because it was heartbreaking last year for us to think that we solved that problem and then only half of it was solved, which is why I think we got a new coach. So we want to see the O-line. We know who Mata is, right? We know. Does anybody know why Mata is wearing a green jersey? I meant to ask y'all that when I noticed it. Anybody know why Mata is wearing a green jersey rather than a regular jersey? And I noticed Isaiah Harge wears a white jersey and not a gray one. So that's twofold question. Is there a reason why Mata is wearing a green jersey when I thought he always had on the regular color jersey at practice? And is there a reason why Isaiah Harge, who we expected to be a two-way player, is there a reason he's not wearing the gray jersey? Let me know if y'all have any thoughts. I don't know, maybe the process changed. That's why I'm asking. Or maybe we don't have any more two-way players, or maybe, because I knew at the end of the season, it was Isaiah, and Coach Prime said it. He said, I got another one, you know, but he doesn't have on the gray jersey. So let me know your thoughts there. And then I'm going to go ahead on and tell y'all what this says. Okay, so if you missed it, we started out by playing, trying to guess what this says right here. All right. The letters IGYBCT, right? Okay. So the clue was, this is what, it was the title of a very, very, very popular song by a songstress that everybody would suspect smells like shea butter, neo-soul artist, beefing with Beyonce, unsurprisingly, I didn't know. And it's generally what you say when someone has maybe done something to you, but then they need something from you. So kind of like somebody stealing your wallet and then asking you for a ride to the mall. No, that's not something you're going to do. Like somebody you know, not a stranger, not a stranger, right? So that's it. That's the clue. Let me know if y'all guessed it. I don't see where anybody has guessed it. If nobody else guessed it, then I guess I'm going to tell you. We're just going to kind of wait for a second. But other than that, the spring game, Coach Prime is looking for leadership. I'm looking for evolution. I'm looking for change. I'm looking to see, do we have an O-line? This is the third year. Please let us have a complete O-line with effort on both sides. Don't know why Mata's in the green jersey. I was hoping somebody would tell me. I'm not sure if we still have a two-way player because Isaiah Harge only has on the white, the white jersey. And, I know what I want to see too. The wide receiver. So we had a very elite wide receiver core. They left some really big shoes to fill. It's not just the quarterback position. It's the entire starting wide receiver core that's gone. So Omarion, he was injured. He's coming back. He's the leader for the most part. He is. I want to see him play because I think he was back for the Alamo Bowl, but different scenario. So we want to see what the new core, Omarion, how he's doing. Want to see Timmons play. Remember, he had a boot on his foot at some point. I want to see Farrakhan. I want to see him play. He looks to be pretty good. Gibson. How can we forget? He is a speedster. I think number 15, don't know who that is, caught a pass from, I think that was Juju. Pretty good. So want to see the wide receivers. I asked y'all yesterday, where was Preston Hodge? Y'all say he's still there. He said he got unfinished business. So now we get to see who's going to replace Cameron Silvercraig. Who's going to replace Shiloh, right? We have Keaton Wade. He redshirted, so like he didn't play the last 1 or 2 games. When he did play, he was like a little BJ Green, in my opinion. He was a good edge rusher. That's how I felt like he played. He was good with sacking the quarterback. When they did let him play, he came out the gate with it. His brother was there. His brother transferred out. His brother was a QB. And y'all know we got a plethora of QBs. But he stayed. And I think he might have stayed because he got some shine before he redshirted. So I knew he would be back this year. And who else? Shiloh, replacing Shiloh, replacing BJ Green. We lost Nakai Hill Green. Playing over at Alabama. I think he'll do well there. Nakai Hill Green was a dog. Honestly, I don't think he can win the Penn State, Florida State. He can win anywhere. I think he was going to get some looks because he was a dog. And there were times that, you know, he and Chidozie, you know, were balling out, BJ Green. And I remember Warren Sapp working with those guys. That's why I thought that was Warren Sapp's role. So got a lot of big shoes to fill. We lost about 20 people. So we need a tune-up game. And it needs to be competitive. And does anybody have any insight as to where we are and is it going to happen with Syracuse? Does anybody understand what the process is to make that happen, considering it seems that nobody else has done it? It would be kind of good to kind of get some insight into, is this going to happen? Is it really being considered? Any thoughts there? So, you know, those are kind of things that the questions that I have that I pretty much want to know. So, you know, looking forward to the spring game. Pro days first. I watched 437. What's his name? Jalen Milroe, right? And I wasn't just watching Jalen Milroe. I watched him run his 40, and that was it. I saw him throw a few passes. I was looking at everybody in that room, trying to see how many people were in there and how far it went around the room. So I would say it was about 85% maxed out. Toward like the left side of the field where nobody really was working out. Obviously, it wasn't a lot of people standing there, but there were like good sized groups kind of huddled around where he was. And my first thought was, Colorado Pro Day gonna be crazy. All 32 teams, and I don't know who else. Probably the media, because there was media at Jalen Milroe's Pro Day. So between the media, look at the media trying to talk to Travis at the combine. The media talking to Shedeur. Like, just that alone, you know, is a lot. Jimmy and LeJontay had people around them. It's going to be crazy because this is where you have everybody. Then there's Shiloh. You know, when Shiloh was at the Shrine Bowl, he was being interviewed. You know, cameras were following him around. Today, cameras were following Coach Prime around. Following Coach Prime around in Frisco. I thought it was funny. Coach Prime put LeJontay on blast. I wanted to share this part video, but I was like, nah, it probably wouldn't fly. But Coach Prime was trying to line up against, I think, Jimmy. And then he said, I want to line up against LeJontay. He said, but you always booed up. And then he kind of teased him like, you always booed up like this, that, and the other. And LeJontay was like, oh, man. So I just thought that was cute. But cameras were following around Shiloh at Shrine Bowl, Coach Prime today, Shedeur today. I'm telling y'all, Colorado, and it's got to be the last one. Because when I looked at the schedule for Pro Day, officially on the schedule, the last day was April 1st. So it seems like there's some type of exception maybe for Colorado, or some other schools have added Pro Days, and we're just April 4th. So, and if we're the only one, and it's the last one, that room's going to be packed. And then we get to see Shedeur throw. Now, we talked about Shedeur being in Dallas because it was said that he's going to throw to his receivers. Does anybody know if that happened today? If that was supposed to happen at Pro Day? And if so, did we see Shedeur throwing the ball to anybody? I didn't see that. But again, I didn't watch all of it. Like I said, Levanta Bentley, I saw a lot of the guys yesterday, Will Shepherd today, and some guys who I didn't really know, Cardell Thomas today as well. So I didn't see Shedeur throw today, but some people say that's why he was going to be there. So let me know. Hey, mama, let's see. Who is this? Moana, welcome back. Welcome back. It said the green jersey is for special teams, and Shepherd ran a 4.5. Good. All right. All right. It says Carter Starmeyer will replace Shiloh and Colton Hood will replace Cameron Silver Craig. Oh, okay. That's number 23, right? When Shiloh was out, I think 23 played in his spot. There you go, 22. Thank you for that. That's good insight. All right, check that off the box. That clears that up. Gracie said, yes, I'm definitely a Colorado fan. And I was putting it out there as a positive that we are going to beat Tech. Yes, we have to. We got to do it. We got to do it. Zay is currently focused on slot receiver. Who is Zay? Oh, you talking about Isaiah Hodge. And slot receiver is what Jimmy Horn Jr. Oh, I didn't know they call him Zay. Okay. So he's focused. So he's not a two-way player. So we're going into the year with him being focused on basically what Jimmy Horn Jr. played, which is slot receiver. Okay, and he's supposed to be pretty fast too. Number 17. He's supposed to be pretty fast. So thank you for sharing that. All right, y'all. So really that's it about for today, unless y'all have something else. But I got to tell you the answer before we go. All right. I said, this is really what you say when somebody does something to you but needs something from you. This is your response, your quip, etc. I also said it's the title of a song by a songstress, which was part of the neo soul genre. I said when you see her, she probably smells like shea butter. And as a modern update, she's beefing with Beyonce about some braids. That she wore the braids first. So the answer is, I guess you better call Tyrone. So hopefully y'all know the song. It came out the box, so we all should probably know it. So I hope, I guess you better call Tyrone. So nobody got it. But that's the answer to that one. So, all right, y'all, we're going to get out of here. We just going to wrap up. Unless there's anything else going on that y'all want to talk about that I'm not aware of, drop it in the chat and we can proceed. Otherwise, that's what I had on my agenda for today. Pro Day, spring game. I think that was about it, to be honest. And I guess now, since Pro Day ends tomorrow, I think Mark Bassett was on the list. I think you're just getting ready for Pro Day. That's it. And Pro Day is 2 weeks from tomorrow. So tomorrow will be exactly 2 weeks, April the 1st. And I did say the last Pro Day is supposed to be Tuesday, April 1st. But, that's April Fool's Day. Okay. So, the 4th. So that means that's what Colorado is getting ready to do. Just get ready for Pro Day. Everybody's going to be working out. So we'll just try to keep tabs on who's working out. It'll kind of look like the reunion that it was today, minus Travis. I think everybody else was there. But this is where Travis, he said he'll be at CU for Pro Day. So everybody will be there. It is what it is. All right, y'all, I guess we're going to get out of here. And I guess we'll be back tomorrow. Same time. If there's any breaking news, I am looking. I don't know how y'all feel about it, but I am kind of keeping my eye out to see where Russell Wilson lands. People are starting to chirp and say, and if you don't like NFL, if you want to drop off, that's cool. People are starting to question why it is that Russ is not being, to use the term, allowed to lead the Pittsburgh Steelers. The longer this takes, the more it's becoming obvious that this is not about putting together a winning squad. That this is about meddling and trying to control what happens to Russ, regulating him to QB2 on any team. They don't even care. As long as he's QB2. Now, it was said yesterday or earlier today that Aaron Rodgers is here's what happened in Minnesota. So we talked about Aaron Rodgers being considered in Minnesota. I don't know who was considering it. I think it was the media, because once the media started talking about Aaron Rodgers possibly going to Minnesota, Minnesota started getting calls. Hey, are you trading JJ McCarthy? Because we want to talk. And Minnesota was like, no. So they quickly shut down. We're not interested in Aaron Rodgers. So see, that was manufactured by the media. Minnesota was like, we were never interested. No, we got JJ McCarthy, which is why they didn't pay who went to Seattle. That's why they didn't pay him, because they want to proceed with JJ McCarthy as QB1. They need a QB2. Y'all think Aaron Rodgers really want to be QB2 behind 22-year-old JJ McCarthy? No more than Kirk Cousins wants to be QB2 behind 24-year-old Michael Penix Jr. So, and the longer this takes, and the Steelers basically, I feel like they're being forced into it. There's an article came out today that said Mike Tomlin wants Aaron Rodgers. I said, I don't believe that for 5 seconds. Because on January 30th, the entire Steelers organization wanted to bring back Russell Wilson. And supposedly, they made him an offer. So the way this goes, Aaron Rodgers supposedly came out this weekend or Monday and said, I'm in no rush to make a decision at all. Why would you want to invite that into your organization? Somebody who knows that they holding up the process just because they can. So the question is, if he goes to the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers, because nobody even wants to fathom in the media that Russ could possibly go back to the Steelers, and he can. But like I said, the media is kind of pushing this story. The Giants were supposedly frustrated with Aaron Rodgers because he taking too long to make a decision. So as long as he's making a decision, the media is forcing him to the Steelers. And Russ has just got to wait on Aaron Rodgers. So the question today was, could Aaron Rodgers going to the Steelers ruin his legacy? What legacy is that? The one where he had previously was good? Nobody wanted him on anybody's team. And neither do the Steelers fans. And honestly, I don't think the front office is. I'm telling you, this is forced. And the longer it takes, it looks ridiculous. Why is it Russ can't choose? Since Russ already has an offer on the table why is it that we have to wait on Aaron Rodgers? Why is it that Russ can't go? Well, since he undecided, I want to go to Pittsburgh. Why is that not the case? Because with these types of situations, why does Aaron Rodgers have first dibs and then Russ gets what's left over? I don't like that. I don't like it at all. And it further feeds into they're trying to blackball Russ because of this NFL collusion case. That is definitely a strong possibility that you have to ask. And that's called retaliation. And obviously it is collusion. It is actually colluding to make sure that he's not QB1 anywhere, which is exactly what the guilty verdict said the NFL was guilty of. Colluding against veteran quarterbacks when it comes to salary negotiation. And Russ's name was central to the case. People think it's because he got this contract in Denver. Understand something. All of that was going on. The collusion case just didn't pop up out of thin air. All of this was going on at the same time. So the longer this goes on, it just looks like it's going to be a hot mess. It just looks like it's going to be a hot mess. And it's not about winning. So when the gentleman, I forgot his name, I actually talked about him, the one that left Dallas. When he left Dallas and he said he was happy to go because he knew he was never going to win a championship there. A lot of people didn't get upset. Why? Because Dez Bryant had already said that he took the heat for it. Dez Bryant already said the Dallas Cowboys are not interested in winning, that other things are the priority. So now you have an active player saying it as he leaves and go to another team, and then Michael Parsons is upset. And on Threads, and that's where the conversations take place, I said Michael Parsons must be the only person associated with the Dallas Cowboys that actually believes that they didn't sign his contract extension yet because they trying to win. Come on. And if we out here asking, when is the NFL going to hold these teams accountable for consistently losing, and now the conversation boils up to, okay, the Cowboys make money in every other manner and they seem content with that. Whereas the game is just entertainment, not a competitive sport. And then we talked about the Giants being cool with entertaining fans and not doing what it takes to win, like allowing Saquon Barkley to go see his worth when you knew what it was. They didn't need to pay him because they're not interested in winning. They're interested in entertaining I told you the game is becoming more than becoming like a petting zoo with everything around the petting zoo. The merch, the beverage, the ticket sales to get in, the mall where you could shop, the restaurant where you could eat. It's the competition is slowly but surely being eroded. So when these players want to go and they're like, hey, I want to win. What happened to Myles Garrett? Prime example. He wrote this letter and said he wanted to win. Y'all know he catching heat because he accepted his contract. So this is what was said. Well, you went ahead and signed your contract and you're going to stay there. So it really wasn't about winning. That it was more. So he's catching heat for not truly wanting to win, but saying that he did, but choosing to stay when they threw money at the problem. But they don't talk about it when it's the Dallas Cowboys don't want to win. They don't want to talk about it when it's the Giants are not trying to win. And then there's Baltimore. They look like they want to win, don't they? They don't want to win. Lamar Jackson was also central to that NFL found guilty of colluding against veteran QBs when it comes to salaries. And so was Kyler Murray, but we don't hear much about him. And I talked about that already. So this whole situation with Russ, the longer it takes, the public is starting to put 2 and 2 together and asking questions to verify, okay, is there any other reason why 2 and 2 is not 4? Is there any other reason? What's really going on? That why Russ can't just go to Pittsburgh where he already was? Why is it dragging out? Why are y'all forcing Aaron Rodgers to go to Pittsburgh? Why does Russ have to wait for Aaron Rodgers to make a decision? I don't care if you want Aaron Rodgers to take forever to make a decision, but why does Russ have to wait on Aaron? That's not a good look. It's like you're trying to send a message to Russ that he's not valued. They don't want him there. You're going to get what's left over because we got to pay you anyway. And since you filed this complaint against us and we were found guilty of colluding, we're going to show you what colluding looks like. And that's what's happening. It's ugly. Meanwhile, the Big 12 is back in Frisco at La La Land, Jerry World, because that's the priority. Those types of things. Not the players actually competing to win against each other. The Super Bowl is just another avenue to entertain. The fans want to win. Everybody else, they don't want to win. And when the players say they want to win and then they get compensated, because they got a no trade clause, so you got to pay me. That's who catches heat for not wanting to win, the players. So they need to put the team together themselves, I guess. So, it's just another day goes by and it just becomes more obvious. The Steelers should keep Russ. Absolutely, the Steelers should keep Russ. There's absolutely no reason why the Steelers would build everybody that they built, including DK Metcalf, for Aaron Rodgers. Like, that's not even a good decision. And to come back now and try to force Mike Tomlin to have his name attached to it. I told y'all at the end of the season, I said, I don't think Mike Tomlin is making his own decisions. I think they basically trying to tell him what to do. And this is why Russ can't even go back to Pittsburgh, because they don't trust Mike Tomlin to make sure Russ is QB2 and not QB1. That's why he can't go back to Pittsburgh. They'd have to have a different coach. And the Browns are now talking about getting rid of their GM. I don't know what he did, but they talking about getting rid of him. So I'm like, it's just a whole lot of meddling going on. And it's a whole lot of shenanigans that have nothing to do with winning football games. And that is becoming more and more apparent to the audience that pays for these tickets. The people that are going to start going to the games are the people that want to be entertained, not the people that want to see who's going to win. So, that's where we are with that. I don't like it because it's wrong to treat Russ that way. He's human. They already humiliated him on the field. They really thought when he went to Pittsburgh that he was going to be QB2, and you see what happened. They trying to make sure he's QB2. And I feel like that's why Mike Tomlin does not have any true power. Not like he used to. His last decisions probably came about when he got Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. I think after that, they was like, oh, time out, time out, time out. We can't have this. So it was a article with a photo of Mike Tomlin, and it said the Steelers failed to sign $40 million QB. Now understand this. They said the Steelers failed, and they had a photo of Mike Tomlin. I'm like, I already told y'all, Mike Tomlin is being set up to fail. When Byron Leftwich got fired, who was the quarterback? Tom Brady, right? Did Tom Brady catch any real heat when they lost the year that Leftwich got fired? No. So I don't know. He might want to start making some other decisions, because I can see it from over here. Like they don't. I don't think they really care for the decision that he made to bring Fields and Russ there for obvious reasons. And they really thought that they was going to pinhole Justin Fields to QB2 behind Aaron Rodgers, but Russ wasn't coming back there, because then it was going to be Russ and or Justin or Russ and somebody else. But they definitely don't. They can't trust it. They like, nope, we want you to be QB2. And if we let you go back to Pittsburgh, you're probably going to end up QB1 again. And he probably would, because he's good. Mike Tomlin wants to win. You see, that's who want to win, the coach. But the executives and the owners, nope. So I sent out a poll today. Let's see if anybody responded to it. That basically was asking, let's see. Okay, I got some votes. So the question was, who's the best QB1 for the Pittsburgh Steelers? And I specifically put in the 2025 season. I didn't say for the foreseeable future. I didn't say next year or year after next. I said for this upcoming 2025 season. The only name, it was two names, Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. Aaron Rodgers got 0%. Russell Wilson got 100%. For the people that voted, and it's more than two. So my point is, fans do not want this. The Steelers, January 30th, wanted Russ. Mike Tomlin wanted Russ. That's why we got DK Metcalf. But see, they trying to block. And then they want to sit up here today and put it on Mike Tomlin. All of it, the whole situation, trying to block Russ, trying to strip Tomlin of his power, trying to set him up to fail, trying to force Aaron Rodgers into Pittsburgh. It's all ugly. And it has nothing to do with winning football games. NFL still want to control the players. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. Good night, Gracie. Good night. Good night. Russ, all the way. Yep, that's who it is. That's what people want. So we just gonna have to see, what happened. Don't be surprised if I pop up if it's some breaking news. Then again, I might not. I might not, because I find this, totally annoying. Because all the way around, the scenario is wrong. Has nothing to do with winning games, and it's just ugly. And I don't subscribe to this type of behavior. Honestly, if we didn't have these young guys coming out of CU going to the league, I wouldn't even watch it. I'm just gonna be honest. Not after this. This not right. And you're not focused on winning. So, why would I devote my time to something that it's just entertainment? I could be entertained in the way that I want to be. If you told me it was pure entertainment and I spent my time to be entertained, then I'm cool with it. But you selling it to me like you competing, trying to get to the next level, but that's not what you're doing. Your actions and your words don't match. So we're going to get out of here. I thank y'all for hanging with me tonight. I saw 20 people. Make sure that's 20 likes. Y'all have been doing excellent with the likes. And the ratio, I totally appreciate it. Next up for Colorado, April 4th, CU Pro Day. It's going to be huge. I think it'll be epic. I think it'll be people everywhere between the media and the 32 NFL teams. So, we'll just until then, we'll just kind of keep our eye out to see who's working out if they post it, and we'll just try to talk about it and share it. Otherwise, we will be talking about the NFL. And as we get closer and closer to March Madness, we'll probably talk about basketball. I think since Alabama State lost, they're out of it. I think the next set of teams I was looking at was Memphis, and they're playing Colorado State, the rivals to CU. And I'm hoping Memphis beats Colorado State. They play tomorrow. So, all right, y'all, we're going to get out of here. Thank you so much, D. Johnson. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, y'all, we're going to get out of here. We will be back tomorrow. Thanks for watching What She Said.